Welcome back, guys, to the Collectors with Cards Drinking Coffee podcast. I'm your host, PokemonRadar. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, or I have tea today. I've already had too many cups of coffee. So, good news, we're back on Spotify. You can see the link in the description below. But today I want to hop right into our special guest here. Someone that has taken the Pokemon world by storm and probably soon to be the #1 Poketuber in the world. He might even be by views. I'm not sure yet. But we have Leonhart. How you doing, Lee?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me on today.
Oh, thank you for jumping in on short notice. I know you're a busy guy, so I'm very happy to have you on here.
No problem.
But
I've been looking forward to this, by the way.
Oh,
I really have to just to get on here and talk Pokemon with you.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, let's start with how we first met. As many of my other podcast guests, we crossed paths at Pokemon World Championship in 2019 in Washington D.C. for the first time. I believe we were talking a little bit beforehand, but we're finally able to meet each other in person. You were there with a whole bunch of other the big Pokemon YouTubers. What was that like, kind of going to a Pokemon event? You know, you were sponsored by Pokemon for that, right?
Yeah, I've been always trying to bridge the gap between the Pokemon company and influencers, is kind of trying to just make the connection between not just myself and them, but anybody else out there to help the Pokemon brand, because, we're also passionate about them. So I had approached them about working closer together. And one of the things was actually sending myself out to Pokemon Worlds in DC in 2019. And I didn't really have any specific missions or anything that they had wanted me to do other than to just go and enjoy the convention, which was really refreshing because it was amazing. I got to meet you there in person. I got to meet other, like, Real Breaking Nate and Danny and Unlisted Leaf and Jordan and a ton of other people that are in the community. And not to mention, I can't even tell you how amazing it was just to walk around the convention floor and people coming up to you saying they watch your videos. It's just a whole nother level when you get to meet somebody in person, as opposed to just chatting online like you and I did from before. In person, it just makes it better.
Yeah, I mean, so was that your first Pokemon event that you've gone to?
So that was the biggest. Like, I know that's like the Super Bowl of Pokemon tournaments and stuff, Worlds. I actually regularly go to Dallas Regionals.
Oh, that's right.
Which happens in January. So I've actually regularly gone to Dallas Regionals for the past maybe half decade or so.
Oh, really?
It used to be I would just walk around to meet people. But then I actually started having like my own booth there just to actually make it a little bit more organized. So those would be the main like official Pokemon events that I would go to, other than just random pre-releases at different comic shops and collectible card stores.
Okay, yeah, because we did see each other there as well. I went to the last one in obviously before the pandemic. You and Gary were there with a booth. He was showing off all his PSA 10 Charizards. You actually, I gave him my Ninetales to try to cross grade at Beckett with you, and I got a nice little shout out in that video, so that was nice.
That was good. He was pretty nervous for you as far as like getting the grade back for that. He was really wanting it to cross over.
Yeah, it was just funny because you got all these prestigious Charizards and then a Ninetales. So it was pretty funny video to see that. So let's take it back to 1999. How old are you now?
I am 33 years old.
33. Okay, so that's kind of like, to me, the perfect age for Pokemon collectors. I think we kind of all have this traditional cycle of finding Pokemon again kind of near the end of college, because we're figuring out our lives and who we're going to be, and we get hit with that nostalgic bug. So I feel like you hit that age range perfect. But back in 1999, you were a little bit older than I was. What was it like for you? What, you were maybe 10 years old, 11 years old?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what was it like for you? Like, how conscious were you of what was going on?
I don't think any kid was conscious about like I need to save my cards or anything like that type of thing. Like the hype of what Pokemon would become. Like I started collecting it, the show, the Game Boy games,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the card game. And I still remember, like, to this day, not only the memories of like going to the leagues at the mall where you would get those badges, or at Toys R Us, but it was like, I think I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. Like, for a while, the hype for Pokemon cards in middle school was just there. And I would walk into specific memory of walking into like my chemistry class, and every single person was building their Pokemon card decks. I'm talking the girls, guys, it didn't matter who you were,
Mm-hmm.
any type of group, they were all just building their decks. And I always remember that memory, just think like, did this get even higher than this hype as far as how the Pokemon world was back then? It was really, really big, as you know, back in 99. Then it kind of went through a lull in the early 2000s and stuff, to where it is right now, reaching unprecedented levels. So at the time being, no, I had no idea what was going on. I was just there trading Machop cards. I was trading my Charizard holographic cards for Squirtle cards, because Squirtle is my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, hopefully it was a unlimited Charizard for like a first edition Squirtle. That might have been a fair trade. So back then, so you grew up in Texas, if you've been there, or okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Dallas, Texas, and
Okay.
that's where I currently am.
Okay, awesome. So what I mean, we know a lot of talk of first edition Shadowless stuff being available in the West Coast, East Coast. Do you remember any of that in Texas? As a kid, were you aware of anything like that?
So I had no idea what Shadowless was, but obviously, you see the first edition stamp. So there is a clear definition of being like, this one has a first edition stamp and this one does not. At the time, I don't think anybody really as a kid, you don't care too much, other than just being like bragging rights. Like, oh, this has the first edition stamp, because I don't know, values were too crazy. They weren't too crazy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do remember going with my dad to a collectible card store when I was younger, and actually selling my cards back then, which was really cool to kind of do that when you were young. No, but this was not like this the typical horror story of my parents sold my cards way back when. It was like I was willingly wanting to give this card and this card, not like my whole binder or collection, so I can get money to get some newer cards or more packs to open up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the different levels and stuff, I think it was just like, hey, we got first edition cards, and then there's anything else other than, it could be Shadowless, it could be unlimited and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I know we can look at some of those price guides from back in the day. You'll see the first edition of like Charizard's like $240, and the unlimited's like $40.
I looked at it recently from one of the guides that I have, and I think it said it was like $127 for a first edition base set Charizard.
That's amazing.
I'll take that today.
That's incredible. Just throw a couple of decimals to the right, and we're there today. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it really makes you think like how, like, obviously the internet was like just the beginning back in around 99, but like those types of books these days, especially every single day, like in the current market, would be obsolete.
Oh my God.
Like, it's like they this whole process of putting this book together, publishing it, getting out to stores, and then you take it open, like the Scry, I believe they call the Scry magazines and stuff, would have the prices of the individual. It's like these days, those would be extinct like the very next day, because the prices just keep on changing. So I'm like, I keep on thinking about that and several other things, just to be like how different the world is today of Pokemon compared to it is when I was younger.
Yeah, and PSA does still they send out their SMR magazines, and they have price guides in there with Pokemon in it. And yeah, those things are just so obsolete and so off by the time you get it, because it's too far behind.
Right.
So
it's still cool to like reach out there and read it, though.
Yeah, it's fun to look back and be like, oh, I missed out on that, like we all do.
Right.
But so you were collecting the card game. How far did you get along as a kid? Like, what set did you get up to, or did you never stop?
I stopped. It was probably, and unfortunately, before the Neo sets.
Same.
So just like what I think most people kind of just stopped, because Neo, when did the Neo sets start coming out? Like the late 2000s or 2001, I believe.
2001.
So,
yeah.
So like by that time, I just grew out of it. I think most people started growing out of it at like not necessarily because Neo sets, because a lot of people did collect those sets still. I think right after Neo, it was kind of starting the downfall of the brand of Pokemon, but Pokemon being, its, I guess, patient and smart self. They're always at the forefront of technologies and everything to keep themselves back in the, back at the forefront. But I had stopped just before Neo came out.
Were you going into Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering? Was there another card game that you dove into?
I tried getting into Magic, but I think I just never really got into it, whether it be just because of it being more complicated, quote unquote, for when I was younger. And I just didn't feel like, I wanted something simple, faster to learn. That's where Yu-Gi-Oh came in. And I still have my original like Yu-Gi starter deck that I used way back when and played with friends. But those are all in like near mint condition because I really never even used those too much. They kind of just sat there. So I wanted to, and I saw the show, and I love Yu-Gi-Oh, the show. It made you want to play and get up there and play with friends and everything. But I didn't get even close to as much into Yu-Gi-Oh as I did, or Magic as I did Pokemon.
Okay, yeah. I completely skipped over Yu-Gi-Oh. I had no interest in it. I think I saw a card once, and I was like, why is it this size? I don't like it.
Like smaller, they're like smaller size cards.
Yeah, put it in a sleeve and like doesn't fit at all. I didn't know what the heck was going on, so
too much trouble.
Yeah, I moved on to like Dragon Ball Z and Magic right away.
I did collect Dragon Ball Z cards, and I still have my whole collection of those.
Really? See, I've got a whole bunch of boxes back here now. This is my favorite. I love Dragon Ball Z, dude. It's just insanely, it's just awesome. I've watched the show like too many times.
Right. I do have to ask, what's your favorite saga from Dragon Ball Z?
Well, for the anime, it's Cell Game Saga because my favorite character of all time is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Yep.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite character, but he's like my second favorite character.
Who's your first?
But he's only there for such a short time.
Majin Vegeta.
Vegeta.
Okay. See, my number 2 is Majin Vegeta. That short stint, that little fight scene between him and Goku it's just one of the greatest parts of Dragon Ball Z.
But that's I think I did a video on one of my channel first started out, and it got copyrighted. Like I think it was up for years, and then it got copyrighted by Toei Animation 5 years later, where I had to take the video down. But I worked really hard on it. But I did like my top 5 best Dragon Ball Z fights and stuff, and I think it may have been my favorite one, the Goku versus Majin Vegeta.
Okay, yeah, that's a great fight. But yeah,
good taste. You have good taste.
For the card game, it's the Cell Saga because there's that's where the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan card is in, and that's my favorite card. So they kind of like split it up. But yeah, so you got out of Pokemon like we all did. What brought you back? And when?
Well, it's funny because the video's not there because I think it was on another channel I did that I deleted. But for some reason I think it's like around 2010, actually, let's rewind just a little. 2005, my first year of college at University of Texas at San Antonio. Can't do anything in San Antonio, especially first year. We decided to go to Walmart because that's what we did. And we bought starter decks of Pokemon at the time, which was 2005. I think I saw Fire Red, Leaf Green packs and stuff, but the deck that I got, we started playing it there for a few times, and from then on, that was basically it since 2005. It wasn't until 2010 I went to Walmart, and I forgot exactly the packs at the time that were out, maybe Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I think I got one of those packs. I'm like, this is kind of nostalgic, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I decide, smart self, start going after first edition base set holographic PSA 10 cards.
Oh.
And yeah, it was crazy. But the thing is, I was getting them graded, and they were all coming back as 10s myself. There's like no better satisfaction than that. I had every single card except the Charizard. Then I got a Charizard off of eBay. I was like, this looks mint. Submitted it to PSA. And this was now fast forward to, I think, 2012 or 13. I went to law school at SMU here in
Mm-hmm.
Dallas. My boring election law class. Sorry, election law teacher, if you watch this. I had gotten a notification from PSA that my grades were in for my first edition base set Charizard, and it came back a 10. I started screaming, going crazy. But unfortunately, I had to sell all of those cards to help pay for rent and in school.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I sold my PSA 10 first edition base set Charizard for $2,300.
Wow.
Which is like, yeah, which is a lot at the time for me. I was like, that pays for rent and stuff. Obviously, comparing it to now, it's like, oh, but I think we've all been there.
That's something I didn't know about you. Or I don't think you've even ever talked about. I mean, I pay pretty close attention to YouTube, but I didn't know you were back into I mean, I barely know anybody that was buying PSA cards in 2010, 11, 12.
And that's where I had a video, actually, not on my Leonhart channel because it didn't exist at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was doing showcasing videos, going like, here is my PSA 10 cards and stuff, and didn't show my face or anything. It just showed my like an actual like hands cam. That was it at the time. And I was showcasing the cards because I think I saw other people, I don't know who it was, doing kind of like a showcasing unboxing type of ish video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that looks kind of fun. So that was actually, if I can somehow go find that video, that was like the pre-Leonhart days.
Wow.
And after I had sold the Charizard card basic in 2013, I stopped for a year. And then back in November of 2014 is when I officially started my Leonhart channel. Was primarily doing retro nostalgia, like top 10 Nintendo 64 games, Dragon Ball Z fights and stuff. And that was when I went to my parents' place and found my old collection, first edition base set Alakazam, that I ended up getting graded by PSA, a strong PSA 5 for that one. And a few others, no Charizard, but I did a video on that showcasing my old collection. And from then on, I kind of just niched down because that's what I found I was most passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And the community was very welcoming and I really enjoyed it. Was doing Pokemon stuff and Pokemon cards specifically. And from then on, now it's grown to what it's grown to.
Yeah. Wow. That's really like, I'm shocked to hear that you were into PSA cards so early on. Like, like I said, there's a handful of people that I know, and they're mainly through E4 that did that and stuck it through. And I mean, now they're obviously very successful because of it.
Right.
Were you a part of any of the Pokemon forums back then? Did you, or you were just?
Oh, actually, okay. I was shaking my head no, that I wasn't. However, I mean, I probably could go find like some really, it's probably dead now, like a random forum or something that I was part of to try to get more information about the cards or something. But I probably was active too. I just don't really remember too much. But yeah, I still have on my PSA account original first edition base set Charizard that came back at 10, like that had the serial and everything. And the coolest thing is I still know who bought it. I had emailed them a few years ago, actually, back when in 2016, when every single month the first edition PSA 10 Charizard was going up like $1,000 when Pokemon Go came out and Evolution TCG. I was like, I need to buy a Charizard, but every month, like, should I splurge and spending over $10,000 on this one card? I'm not going to do it. But then I'm like, wait, let me just contact the person that bought mine for $2,300 and see if they'll sell it to me back for obviously a higher price, but not as much as $13,000 or something. They actually responded, and they're like, "Yeah, how's it going? It's good that you reached out. At this time, I'm not going to sell the card, but thank you so much for reaching out." And I was like, "Oh." But it was still cool that I got a hold of them because they're the ones that have my original one that I had to sell. So
and he still has it, or she still has it, you think?
At this point, if they didn't sell to me then, they probably still kept it. But then again, you never know when, financial troubles or anything. So you need to sell something. So it could be out there. Maybe I'll reach out to them after this, talk. I mean, kindled that memory.
Yeah, it could be someone that even I know, or I mean, this community is small, and the people that have those cards, it's a very, very.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. There's only 120 of them in the world. So
and even if it's like a reconnection video where you get to see it again and not actually get to buy it, but go and do a little video like that.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit for that if they reach back out to me.
All right, awesome. Well, that's really cool. I mean, again, that's just like something that I'm shocked to hear. So you got back in 2014. I started again in Evolution's 2016 Pokemon Go era. Now I remember you probably when you had like 15, 20,000 subscriber ish, YouTube wise, and that was kind of like the start of me recognizing like, oh, Pokemon is becoming something. People are making YouTube channels. I'm seeing a lot of other people buying the stuff. Prices are obviously going crazy. I love this stuff. I'm gonna start collecting. And specifically, I remember there was like that one store near you. I forget the name, but they had a bunch of vintage stuff. You did a bunch of videos with them.
Oh, vintage Pokemon card heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, was it
That's
Limitless?
what I called it. It was called Limitless. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember like paying attention to your videos closely on that because they had such good stuff, and I was contacting them and buying their stuff. And I think you had like,
Yeah.
if I just mentioned your name or something, they'd give me like 10% off or something like that. I remember you did a couple of
Right.
videos like that. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff from them. I wish I bought more.
Um, yeah, they're pretty much rated out, which is why I haven't really gone back or anything. So
Yeah.
it's like people were flying in from like France and stuff to buy stuff from there. It was just crazy. But yeah, it really is good times thinking all those memories about doing the videos there.
Yeah, yeah. So now that you've blown up into this huge Poketuber star, are you the most viewed Poketuber? I know you. I know Unlisted Leaf
Um,
has the most subscriptions, but I think view-wise, you might be.
I don't really know because I haven't looked at it in
Mhm.
a month or so. Obviously, there's like Maximofo, but he's
Right.
kind of like his own. He's on his own kind of level because he's one of the OG like
Yeah.
big YouTubers. So
Yeah.
and like he can unbox an empty box
Hmm.
and make that hilarious,
Hmm.
and people will watch that. So he kind of has like his own crew. But for like the, I guess just Poketubers.
Hmm.
Um, last I had saw, I was,
Yeah.
which was really cool
Yeah.
because I've always looked up to Enlisted Leaf and several others, and to actually now be one of the top channels, it really is. It's a crazy story and it's been a crazy journey, but just getting to know everybody in the community along the way, just it's made it all worth it. So
Yeah.
especially being here now,
Yeah. I
all
mean,
the crazy new people that are, the other big influencers that don't do Pokemon, the celebrities that are in it and stuff. It's
mhm.
like every single day there's like something new and going crazy in the Pokemon world, as I'm sure you know.
Right. Well, you opened up what today is probably like $100,000 worth of heavy packs with Logan Paul, all those first edition and
Oh
shadowless
yeah.
packs. Um,
I don't regret that because
oh
that was an
no.
awesome experience.
Yeah.
We didn't pull the Zard though in that
Mhm.
one.
Just the $35,000 chancy. Um,
Yeah.
but so how did that come to be? I mean, I've talked with Logan a little bit. I haven't like sold him anything or anything, like that. But um, I had a feeling he was going to get into the hobby pretty, a while ago because there was Pokemon all over his podcast studio and stuff like that. How did you guys link up?
So I've actually watched Logan several times before, and I know there's been all the drama and stuff from several years ago that he's gone through and stuff,
Hmm.
but for the most part, I really do feel like he's redeemed himself.
Hmm.
And when I see his videos, he had that Squirtle tattoo. He's mentioned Pokemon before. He's done stuff about Pokemon before, but it wasn't until I don't know, like a month and a half, 2-ish months from
Hmm.
now, like ago, that he had initially reached out, and uh, he didn't like know anything
Right.
about Pokemon.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, before that, Gary V actually had reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
like really, really at the very beginning of him getting into Pokemon. And he had no idea about everything and was asking questions left and right and everything. But before even that, I was talking to my friend Nick. He's a subscriber friend. He's been on the channel. We usually do our stuff for mental health awareness every
Right.
single year. He couldn't travel this year because of the pandemic stuff,
Hmm.
but we were talking. We were like, it's only a matter of time before somebody like a Gary V or Logan comes into the hobby and with unlimited income essentially,
Hmm.
and starts buying everything up and stuff. So it's only a matter of time. There's advantages, there's disadvantages, which I won't go into. But Logan did reach out, and it was actually, I believe, like a random subscriber on Instagram had a message being like, I hope it's okay that I gave Logan your information, which was just my Instagram account,
Yeah.
to reach out to you. And I'm like, yeah, good job, man. Like, I appreciate it. That's cool. And then I had saw that Logan had reached out and he was wanting, asking questions about, first edition, shadowless, heavy light packs, which actually at the time he didn't even know about heavy or light packs. So it was really, really interesting trying to educate him on certain things to where eventually we he started, buying a bunch of different things, and not just from me, from tons of people. And he had I think posted about it on Twitter, was like his first post about, I'm doing Pokemon cards and I'm investing in them. So I messaged him just saying, congrats. He was like, thank you. We should do a video together or something. And I was like, sure, but we'll think of something. But then I had an idea and I was like, what if we open up some first edition base set packs? But maybe let's do it for my charity. And then he's like, let's do it. That's a great idea, bro. That's a great idea. Let's do it where each pack you have to donate $1,000 or something like that. Loser, whoever doesn't get the most valuable card from each of the packs or something. So from there, it, boiled into what it eventually became, where, I went to LA to his place where he does his podcast, and it was really cool, surreal moment being there, meeting him, really chill person in person. And we did the video and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Are you going to be on his podcast? Are we going to see a Leonhart Impulsive episode here?
You just might. Yeah.
I actually, one of the guys that started the podcast with him, Spencer, I don't know if he was there when you went, but I went to Michigan State with him and lived on the same floor as him freshman year.
No way.
So I kind of I paid attention to him kind of throughout the years, and I remember seeing him for the first time, like being the videographer for Logan Paul. And then now he grew into being on, started the podcast with him and went off and started doing his own thing. But he actually just did a documentary on the United States or world, I guess, education system, which I haven't watched yet, but that should be interesting to see. But yeah, that's really cool. I mean, all these guys coming in is inevitable, a lot of negativity floating around it. And, but at the end of the day, it's a great thing for Pokemon. I mean, you can't tell these guys what to do, what not to do. They're doing what they want and enjoy doing.
Right.
I've talked to a couple of these guys as well, and thankfully they've come to me instead of some other people to educate them, because there's so much misinformation out there on this stuff, and it's becoming a little bit of an issue, actually. So yeah, it's nice to get the right people in their ear talking to them about Pokemon and what is really going on and all that. So I know you yourself, you're very, very invested with knowledge. You've had some incredible finds. I mean, a little bit, I would say, you got that luxury of people knowing you, obviously. So if there is someone outside of the hobby, they might find Leonhart on YouTube and be like, oh, I can sell my Pokemon to them. You've had, I think, 2 or 3 recent pretty big finds, one of them being a storage unit. Can you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Yeah, that was it was kind of the first really, really big time somebody contacted me as far as finding something like that. And it just happened to be they lived in Arlington, which is just a 40-minute drive away from where I live in Dallas. And they had contacted me earlier in the day. I think it was a Wednesday, middle of the week. And they were like, yeah, everybody, I posted this on some random Facebook group. The news was trying to contact me about this. People were wanting to buy it. I've spoken to some other collectors and stuff, and almost everybody was saying, just go ahead and contact Leonhart. He'll give you, the right prices and maybe even want to buy it or something like that. So I was going back and forth, and I honestly was scared. I was like, I don't think this is legit. Is this really real? He has some pictures of this stuff. So I had them send a picture with them and holding up my name on a piece of paper in front of it was a Skyridge open box and all the other stuff. And I was like, I think this may be real, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll go at least. Maybe I can buy some of the stuff, but I've never spent this much on what I think it's worth on Pokemon. I brought a blank check just in case to leave in the car. And this was a rainy Wednesday night that same day, where my wife was like, are you sure you should go alone to this? Because I was going to go to their actual house to meet them. and this was all the way in Arlington, rainy night, Wednesday. I get there, neighborhood looks fine. Then they end up being really, really nice couple that just moved into the house. And the guy had actually, he's a repairman. He would go on, I don't know what exactly a site, but kind of like Storage Wars kind of thing, where you just, buy a storage unit hoping to find some good stuff. He wanted to find some tools to help him in his business, and ended up buying a ton of Pokemon cards from no one knows where they actually came from, probably like an old store or something like that. And I went there, saw the stuff, was going crazy like a little kid in a toy store over, there was a whole Neo Destiny box full of packs, Aquapolis packs, Skyridge. I mean, you saw the stuff. I did a whole video on it. And I sat there and I told them, this is how much market is for this. And I was there for hours, but I was like, this is how much there's for this. And I basically just paid a market for every single thing that was there. And yeah, I wanted like maybe a little bit of a deal, but at the same time, I was just like, you know what? You took the time to contact me, and I know you wanted to get fair prices and everything. And but we're in the same city. Let's make it easy. He wanted an easy deal, not dealing with like traveling or anything. I had that blank check, and I'm like, you know what? I'll write it. I wrote the check, and then I get home at maybe 12 a.m. My wife's already asleep. I get in bed, and my wife's like half awake, and she's like, so did you end up buying anything? And I just kind of like smiled and smirked, and I was like, yeah, I'll tell you in the morning. And I couldn't go to sleep the entire night because I've never spent this much on Pokemon cards. It was over 50,000. And what's it called? I wake up into the morning. She woke up before me, and I had just, when I had gotten in that night, in big containers, put it right at the entrance of my studio where you like have to see it, and it's by like in my house. And she had saw the containers of everything, and she's like, so you definitely bought a little something. And then I told her about it and everything like that. And so it's just been crazy. That was like one of the biggest ones. And then there was like an old Wizards of the Coast employee as well, that it was like the daughter and the boyfriend had contacted me. And the thing is, I'm really grateful that they do bring me like tell me this stuff, tell them the exact market of the stuff, which these days, if people are approaching left and right being like, oh, I found these in my parents' place, is the market, I don't see the emails because I get a ton until like the next day. And I'm like, well, yesterday when you initially emailed me, they were worth $1,000 for that card. Today, all of a sudden that card is worth $3,000. So it's so crazy. But at the same time, I am very grateful whenever I can try to get to the emails of, and messages from everybody. But yeah, that first find was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that was, I think it was like 55,000 was in your title or something. I mean, that's got to be worth over $250,000. I know you've been opening a lot of it, but
yeah, I've opened up quite a bit of it.
but even with that, with the way that PSA cards and single cards are going, like you'll have no problem breaking even, or even doubling your money probably. Sealed product is always king. It's always financially right to keep that stuff sealed.
Right, and sealed product is king. I'm more of just between everybody, I don't know if I really say it, I'm definitely more of a sealed collector type of person, which is weird, ironic because of how much I open. But I love keeping stuff sealed because it looks beautiful. Yeah. Seeing the stuff in the original packaging with the original wrapping on it and everything. And those are going to be the first things to go. Not, anytime soon, because there's lots of stuff that's still being found every single, week. But you know what I mean? Sealed product is king. So I'm just more into the sealed type of stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's what I kind of got my start with and like built my name with. I've kind of moved away from it now because I'm getting into the Japanese trophy market, trying to teach myself that, because I mean, I just did so much of it, so much sealed product, and I'd be like a millionaire now if I kept it all, but I'm learning every aspect of the hobby. So it's been a fun transition and fun little side thing to do, which I think is going to pick up some nice steam here soon. We're seeing the PWCC auctions, PSA 10 Trophy Kangaskhan, Unicarp, all these things. Have you dived into anything outside of English Pokemon yet?
Not really. I potentially am working on getting a random card. You may have heard of it. It's a Pikachu Illustrator card, but I'm potentially working on getting that.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. What? That's a big boy purchase.
Yeah, I'm basically having to. Well, here's the thing. I would basically, if that happens, and I can't say anything more than that,
Hmm.
is that I do have one card that be like I mentioned this, the Ishihara GX card that the
Yeah.
president of Pokemon gave out.
Hmm.
That has to be one of the rarest cards in the entire world.
Where is
Like
it?
there was only confirmed at most like 60 of those that were given out. Private event for his birthday.
Hmm.
Who like I don't know how many cards he's given out before that we know of. So and only 3 of them have ever been on the market, but 4 of them are officially graded by PSA.
Hmm.
So that would have to be one of the cards that I give up in the potential trade / cash for this card or whatever.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's probably not going to happen, to be completely honest. So
Well, I wish you the best of
that's
luck on that one.
about it as far as getting it. Yeah, thank you. But that's about it as far as like
Hmm.
getting into the market and everything
Yeah.
for Japanese cards.
Yeah. Well, might as well shoot for the top. So that's definitely the
And
top.
that's what, like I always, yeah, and that's what I kind of want. Like I want to fizzle down my collection to the 3, basically the Triforce I call it, of Pokemon. The Pikachu Illustrator, doesn't matter what condition it's in.
Hmm.
First edition PSA 10 Charizard. I tried going for the Beckett Pristine 10.
Nope.
I think even having just the PSA 10, like in a strong one, is enough.
Hmm.
And then, of course, having a sealed first edition base set booster box, English box.
Yeah.
Those three things paired together is what I kind of just want to like almost whittle down my collection to,
Yeah.
and kind of just sell off the rest of it, probably to pay for the stuff. But
Right. Do you
but
have
I
a,
don't know.
you
I've
have
always
a
just been
box,
like a
don't you?
minimalist like that.
Do you have a
But
sealed box?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
already have two of the 3 Triforce things.
Right.
I just need the Illustrator,
Okay.
but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't really care too much if it happens. Like I know it's the top and the rarest and most sought after card.
Hmm.
But I'm really just grateful where I am
Right.
with what I have right now. Which I mean, obviously I can't complain at all. So I'm getting almost to the point where I want to do this thing where I create a pop-up shop.
Yeah.
And I tweeted this last night and people were going crazy. I want to create a pop-up shop and actually recreate a store from the 90s. And I will actually, I'm putting this on now, this podcast record, and this is likely going to happen. I'm going to actually sell product, sealed base set packs and stuff for retail value. Back then,
I
$99 base set pack.
I've had that same idea in my head forever. And
This is a long time, years and years
yeah,
in coming, but
that's
I'm
so,
finally starting to, maybe you can even be a part of it if you want.
that's awesome.
This is all from my own personal collection.
Hmm.
Like at this point, I want to just keep on giving back. And
Yeah.
I've been doing so much stuff recently for my charity for NAMI. First edition Jimmy Heroes box was opened up. Base set 2 box was opened up. And of course, all the packs for my personal collection.
Hmm.
It's all going to those that donate to that.
Hmm.
But it's like, let's take it even a step more. And one, it would be awesome to recreate a shop from the 90s. Like, who wouldn't
Yes.
want to do that? And then
Yes.
sell a base set booster pack for $3.99, not first edition,
Right.
as I
Right.
wouldn't sell those.
Yeah.
But just unlimited ones are now going for crazy
Yeah.
amounts.
Yeah. No,
It gives people of any background, any income, a chance to get the cards. But
Mhm.
logistics have to deal with that. But you
Right.
said you had kind of like
I've
the
had
same
that
idea.
same idea in my head for so long. I think it would be so cool. Like, I mean, I would want to, like, obviously everyone that buys a pack, you got to limit them, but you have to open them. No keeping it sealed. You got to open them, enjoy it. That's what we're doing this for. And maybe potentially like start putting decks together and have a little tournament with the cards that you open. So if you were able to mix in
Mhm.
base jungle fossil, maybe get some theme decks out there for people to have, or, I've had this
I would
idea in my
bring
head for so
sealed,
long.
for
Yeah.
the theme deck.
Yeah, that would be the greatest thing ever. Yeah, if you're doing that, I want to be a part of it. Yeah, that
Yeah, I
sounds like
kind of
so
want to
much
get
fun.
like the last blockbuster.
Hmm.
I kind of want to make it old 90s out. Like get the last blockbuster, which is in like Oregon, to like somehow like just be there, just to put blockbuster stuff there. I would
Mhm.
bring my Pokemon Snap Station for people to use.
Yep.
I'd basically just rent out an old shopping center building, and because that's how usually collectible stores would be in like those old shopping centers and stuff. And
Yeah.
you walk in there, it would have that musty old smell. Like that's kind of like what I want, because that would bring back so many amazing memories of going to the store with my parents.
Hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. That's really funny. I've had that same exact idea. That's so cool that you share that as well. I think that would be just an incredible experience for people. Like I wanted to do something like that at the last Worlds with our E4 meetup. But it was just like, I mean, I'm not in that financial position to crack some base set boxes to sell for $2.99, $3.99. But
well, I tell you what, like I know I'm spending like all the money and resources that I get from my channel, literally just putting it back into the channel,
yeah,
and buying, the collections and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, I'm fortunate to have as much sealed product as I do. Why not let other people have a chance to open up their own pack and experience the joy that we've been able to enjoy by opening up these base set packs, jungle packs, theme decks. I'll have lots of base set 2-packs.
nice.
Lots of those boxes. So it'd be such an amazing, and to see the joy on people's faces if they pull like a Charizard or something.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how much they're going for, like I don't care. Like I just want to see the joy on the people's faces. Like that's what I want out of my greedy self, is to see the happiness on other people, because that would make me feel happy.
Yeah, so I'm all about opening packs. That's the number one reason I got back into the hobby. That's the reason I love the hobby. That's the reason I watch you and all these other guys. I mean, it's funny. You've reached just like a new level. And my best friend from college, Eric, me and him, he's a wealth management advisor for like very high net worth individuals, like hundreds of millions of dollars net worth individuals. And I talk to him a lot about business stuff, and he knows that I do Pokemon. And he's finally he discovered you, and he sends me clips of your videos just like almost daily now. I think our favorite video of yours, which I want to talk about, is your at least the clip, is your reaction and opening of the Reshizard in the library.
Oh yeah,
that is bar none the best Pokemon video. It's better than my Charizard opening. It's better than your Charizard opening. That is the greatest video pack opening I've ever seen in my life.
I appreciate that. I've been wanting to go back. However, I purposely said I don't want to go back to the library, because of the pandemic stuff. But soon enough, I'm wanting to go back. It has to be the same library where I go to. I'm surprised they haven't kicked me out. And I want to try to pull the shiny Charizard from Champion's Path, because I haven't pulled that yet. Okay. Obviously, it's not going to be in the same name or vein as how crazy it was to finally pull the Unbroken Bonds Charizard. That was it, right? I think it was the Unbroken Bonds one. Yeah, I think so. And to pull it in the library, I really couldn't believe it, because it took me over 4,000 packs to, at least, it was probably way more, to pull it. Because I'd get people asking me, like families going to the store, like, "Hey, Leonhart, we got 1 pack with my daughter, and look what we pulled," and it's the Reshizard from 1 pack. And I was like happy, and then because it made me want to like open up more, to be like, now's my chance, like I'm gonna finally get it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do library opening, because I did some before that trying to pull the Reshizard there, because it would make awesome video, but I wouldn't pull it many times. And then finally that one time I pull it, and there is some like older guy that must have thought I was like a psycho or something like that. Like I didn't scream, even though I really wanted to, but then I'm like, I need to probably come back to this library at some point in the future. But at that point I was just running around. I think I laid on the ground of the library and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, which I would never do now. It was so crazy, but that was such a fun video.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. I mean, you're doing this so well. It's so cool to see, and couldn't pick a better person.
Thank
to do
you,
this.
Appreciate it.
So let's talk a little bit about your collection, because I mean, you said you got that first edition base set box. You got that Pokemon Snap. What's your favorite piece in your collection?
No, I never really like thought about my favorite. It's not the Charizard. I think it's the first edition sealed box, the English box, because originally I had wanted to, back when I had first started my channel, I had all the E-series boxes and stuff sealed, but I had sold those to help pay for my first edition Charizard, the one that I currently have. And I was like, that's it. I'm done collecting. I just want to have the first edition Charizard, the best card, and that will be my excuse to tell myself, don't buy any more cards. Don't spend any more money on Pokemon cards. You have the best of the best. You don't need to. That didn't stop me, of course. Yeah. But I bought a first edition base set sealed booster box, and I think that's my favorite, just because of like, that's history right there. It's the mystery of, like, there could be 3 Charizards in that box as Logic. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw, he pulled 3 Charizards
Yeah,
last night.
he did.
From a,
Unlimited box there. Yeah.
like I think Gary said he has pulled 3 first edition base set Charizards before, but that was a while ago.
And they all
so
graded
to see
10s.
somebody actually okay, yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
But to see it happening nowadays, like to act like see it happening now,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, other than what Gary said, no one's ever seen it. So to actually see it now,
Yeah,
is kind of like, it gives me hope. But at the same time, based on what your question, I think that's my favorite piece, just because it's like, that's history right there.
yeah.
Who knows how many of them are left in the world? I don't think no one knows exactly how many of them were even printed. I don't even think Pokemon knows. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the whole world of Pokemon started from that spot. Obviously in Japan, but like for, my childhood, the nostalgia with the box and the cards and everything, having that box, I kind of think that's just my most special thing that I like in my collection.
Cool. I mean, we all saw it with PokeRev's opening. They pulled 3 Poliwraths. Now, people see that, obviously it's like the bottom tier hollow, but you have to realize these hollows, it's all the same pull rate. All 6 or 15 of them, because Machamp's in the theme deck, but that Poliwrath could have been the Charizard. So that you can get 3 of any hollow in your boxes, in the base set boxes at least.
Right.
So it's something that I think we might see again. I know there's another first edition box getting opening soon. I don't know who. I know Logan wants to open another one. So
I know one. You'll know next week.
Yeah.
Surprise incoming next week.
Okay. Very cool. Well, this won't be posted
I can't say any more than that.
Yeah, this won't be posted until probably the first week of November. But
Okay, so then last week,
yeah.
Surprise everybody! I hope you enjoyed last week's news then. But yeah, people open up the box and stuff, and if you have a sealed box for investment purposes, you're like, yeah, value just shot up. And at the same time, you're just like, oh no, it's opened. Oh my gosh. So it's exciting. It really is exciting.
Yeah, I've got 1 heavy pack left, and it's to the point where I don't think I can open it because it's almost life-changing money to sell one of those things,
Right.
But can I ask again, I think coming up Saturday, you're posting the video of your Charizard return. Can I get a first look here from you? I mean, again, this will be posted later, but how did it do? Or do you not want to tell me? You don't have to tell me. I'll see it, but
you'll see it. I mean, it's gonna be tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow. Big reveal and stuff. I will say that I was very, very surprised but a happy surprise with the results of this. And I think people are like, maybe shed a few tears or something like that, because it really is such a crazy story. Like, how does a card, like the one time I shipped with the USPS and I allegedly had used their safest service, and I had allegedly had bought the insurance and everything, but of course my terrible self didn't make sure. I should, always will now. It gets lost.
Yeah.
5 months. Then out of absolute nowhere, you see that email from PSA saying your order's in, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Then it was the Crystal Nidoking, and then soon after it was the Charizard, and it just randomly popped up, same tracking number from USPS at a LA distribution center, like October 9th or something, and then a few days later, that PSA, and I'm hoping the video goes trending and everything.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Tomorrow, because the other one that I did, where I went attorney Leonhart, going through like each of the stages and stuff, that actually got up to number 14 trending on the main YouTube page, which was like I think it was like the first time, not Logan Paul, because his went number 1 every single time, but like for an actual like just regular Poketuber, for a video to get on the main trending page like that.
Yeah.
And I was obviously super excited about that. So I'm hoping this one does. If not, I hope people watch it and, just enjoy seeing a man-child like myself get super excited over a piece of shiny cardboard. But, it's more than that. It's memories, nostalgia, and lots of other things that goes into it.
That was sickening to hear that. I mean, I texted you like right away when you posted the video, because it was, so I had opened up, I believe, to be the first edition base set Charizard live on Instagram, like ever, and posted it on YouTube. And then like a month later, you get yours, and I handed off the crown to you. Uh, and
And then it was somebody else had pulled one,
mhm.
Kanto or something,
Yeah, not sure his
had
name. Yeah.
pulled one too.
And then Logan just did it. So we're at 4 this year. Um, and I'm honestly expecting maybe number 5 and number 6 before the year's end. But yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, I sold mine, which of course I regret, but you know, I have that video, I have that story, that experience of being able to do it. And that's something you
Which is a
can't
great
take away.
memory to
Yeah.
have those, right?
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
we're part of a exclusive club.
Yeah, Charizard Club. It is really cool that, and I appreciate you texting me all those times. Not only when it was lost, but helping me trying to make sure with current values for the cards and everything, because that's like what I try to do is I won't even say a price if it hasn't been either privately, publicly sold listings or legit offers that somebody's offered me
Yeah.
for a card or something. I won't say the price just to try to keep the prices in the market, at what it currently is, and
Right.
not like put something other prices and stuff. So, but I appreciate all your help throughout the past like half a year or something
Oh,
like
of
that.
course, absolutely. No, I enjoy doing this. Like I've said in some of my earlier podcasts, I've been priced out of the market pretty much on the stuff that I want. So I am trying to be engaged in any way I can. And it's this podcast. It's talking with yourself and other people getting into the hobby to educate and do all that stuff. So it's just my little vice, I guess, to keep this thing going for me. Because yeah, man, this market is absolutely insane. And we've always talked about how like one person can't influence the market, but we're seeing it here with Logan, and then everyone else is hopping in, and it's just been a bloodbath of no one knows what the prices are anymore.
I know. It's like 1 week it's this, and it's like next week it's like, wait, this? Okay, now it's this. Everybody, it's like an auction house, but in real life every day.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
So
and
are
exciting.
you just doing Pokemon? I know you used to do some voice acting. Voice actor? Is that what it's called? Are you still doing
Yeah.
anything like that? Are we going to see a
Not
Leonhart character in the next Pokemon game?
I'd hope so. That'd be very cool. I mean, I got Champion Leon from the Galar region and stuff like that. So I kind of use that as my unofficial, official, that's my character type of thing. But as far as like voice acting, primarily do stuff for Funimation Entertainment, which is here in Flower Mound or right by Dallas, Texas. And they do dubs for all the big anime that's out there. And specifically had done One Piece. And my character was Rocks from One Piece.
Okay.
And I had recorded that actually like years ago, but they finally had gotten to publishing the episode recently. So it was kind of cool to have that go out, I think like a month ago, not even that. And I'll do here and there, I'll do projects not for anime or character voice acting, but commercial voice acting. So doing it for random presentations, commercials, or random other smaller things like that, but just on the side, and mainly just sticking with Pokemon. Haven't done acting recently because just haven't had time to go to auditions and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you went from being a lawyer, spending all that time in law school, to, I mean, quickly leaving that to go into Pokemon, and now and you still got the voice acting stuff, I guess, at your leisure, which is nice. So yeah, man, you're doing incredible things. It's so much fun to watch.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you?
Journey.
What's next? What's the next big thing that you want to get into?
It's definitely, and it's not been a secret, it's definitely been the gaming world. Doing live streaming and just working with different maybe esports organizations or something for the gaming world. Obviously, with so many different people investing in different esports teams, like Jerry Jones of the Cowboys, Drake, Serena Williams for 100 Thieves, like all these other organizations. And I'm not well versed into that world just yet, but it's something that was obviously completely different. Well, not completely, because it's gaming and Pokemon's gaming, but you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be the Pokemon games. It would be random other games, and just kind of diving into that world. Lots of opportunity into that world. And it's something I was passionate about, before when I was growing up, because I used to be on professional esports teams, but I was way ahead of my time, like the Dreamcast was.
Wow.
And I was sponsored by Subway way back when. It was the coolest thing. It was one sandwich a day. When you had this little black card that had the Subway logo on it, you would be able to bring it in to a Subway, but you would only get one sandwich a day. But I wasn't complaining. I loved it. But then the team dissolved, and bam, there goes that. But it was a cool experience.
What game did you
I
play?
had experience Call of Duty, the original World War II Call of Duty games, and there were specific leagues called CPL, which was a big league in person here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the Cal leagues, which were like Cal Invite, Cal Open, Cal Invitational, all these other online leagues that you would form your teams and then participate in them. That was literally esports, the top of the stuff, like for esports way back when. It was just back in 2003 to 2005, which is not that long ago if you think about it. But you know, the technology these days,
in that world,
how everything's was just too early. It was like 10 years too early. So
that's cool. I play a lot of Warzone. I want to get
back into that.
I play a lot of Warzone.
You do? Oh,
yeah.
I don't have time to play any of that. No. I wish I did, but I really would like to. So that's kind of like the thing is more because I do all my stuff for my channel. Mm-hmm. Finally utilizing an editor for the first time, but that's been a slow process. Just so I can have more time to I have a new puppy and everything and family, spending time with the family. So, but then eventually moving into like the gaming world.
Right. Well, that's what it takes to get to where you are. I mean, in any industry, putting in just uncountable hours and sacrificing that time with family, friends, whatever, and being able to have that support group understanding of it too. I mean, you get to a point where you're able to bring in, third parties to help you utilize your time better and put it towards where it starts to really truly matter. So that's good to hear. I mean, it's a big step moving into something else, but I definitely see a lot of potential there for you. I think Logic.
It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Logic just signed a big deal with Twitch, and he's doing Pokemon. Hopefully, we'll see some Pokemon openings on there maybe soon. And
wink.
No, I just
wink with the Logic thing. By the way,
yeah,
he does a lot of stuff for mental health. So potentially something with that coming up.
Yeah.
Wink.
Actually, I have it pulled up right here. If you guys haven't, make sure you donate to the NAMI fundraiser. Is this part 2? This is the second time you've done this?
This is the second time I've done something for NAMI. Last year was the first time. This time we had set the original goal of 100,000 by the end of it. And, now by the time this is up, probably already past $300,000 raised.
Now,
so
does that include,
the new goal is $500,000.
Does that include the 133 from Logan's opening?
Yeah, yes, it does. So I had raised 152,000 before we had teamed up, because we had teamed up with my original video and then his first edition booster box opening to do it for NAMI. And so from then on, we added the 130,000. So now it's at 300,000. So I'm just like, I've never had help like that before.
Right.
On something like this. So trying to, keep up the game with people that have, been impacted by it, or it's been kind of part of their lives, and team up together to help promote mental health awareness.
Yeah, I think it's a part of everybody's life, just on a different scale, and recognizing that. But yeah, I saw Graham Stephan shout it out as well. He's a YouTuber I watch for finance stuff, and yeah, I mean, it's incredible that you've been able to utilize your platform for something like this. I mean, it's who would have thought the Pokemon community could come together and put. I mean, I thought $60,000 last year was crazy, but now we're at 300,000. It's amazing, and I would assume you might be a part of it for the charity for autism that Gary's going to be doing. I think in December, maybe November.
Yeah, we were originally going to be doing it. We were originally going to be doing something like tied with both this year, but I was like, you know what, Gary, we really need to put your charity. It's very important because my wife actually teaches kids with autism, like in her where she does, and so I'm like, I think it's too big of a type of thing to where we're going to mix it together, where it should really have its own platform when we do it, so we can concentrate fully on just that specific topic.
Yeah.
So that's when we decided that it's going to be its own thing, and I'm really excited to get things kicked off with that too.
Yeah, that's going to be really great. to see all that. I hope one day I can blow up a little bit and start my own thing, because I've got a few
Never know.
causes that are
Never know.
close to my heart as well that I'd like to get going for people. So, yeah, dude, absolutely incredible what you're doing. You know, I can't thank you enough for giving me your time to be on the podcast, and like I said,
No problem.
not a better person to be in the position that you are. So hopefully I can see you again here soon once this stuff calms down. I know I'll be opening up some packs here with PokeRev. I don't know at what point in the timeline this will all be, but if it goes well, I might be flying down to Dallas to hand it off in person, because I don't want to run into an issue that you did.
Yeah, they can like now call it the Leonhart fiasco or something like that, but it ended up being fine. But and then come to my studio, we can open up some packs together.
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great.
Be great.
All right, well, thank you again, sir. Make sure every one of you guys follow this guy. I could probably get you 1 or 2 extra subscribers. Leonhart,
Nice.
obviously here. Instagram, we got Leonhart54, and but most importantly, please donate to the NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness Awareness Fund here. Let's keep on breaking that record. I think that's going to be. I hope it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. That's awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me on here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure we can keep on chatting for hours, so maybe a future episode.
Yeah, absolutely.